Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and today I'm taking a first impressions look at Echo, a game that I kind of found during my random trailer browsing through YouTube about a year ago, and it recently got another trailer during the summer, and I was surprised to learn that it was coming out here in September, and it has just come out today, so I thought I'd take a look at it. It's got a pretty neat premise that I think we'll get into once we actually get into the game here. Also, I hope you aren't creeped out by eyes, because this is the main menu.
All our songs were about it. A magical place of life without end. A palace of untold wonders. But only for the worthy. So our lives were desperately dedicated to qualify. Pinpoint perspective on the great reward. Only I never wanted to go. Those words alone could mean death. So when I ran, I knew it meant never stopping to catch my breath. If I wanted to live. And so it was. Yet here I am. The place I spent my whole life escaping. I feel like shit.
Of course you do. Your wound has healed. The pain is from the stasis and will pass within a week. The nausea will linger, probably intensify when you start to realize that more than 100 years have passed. Everything you knew is gone. This is not another one of your running away from home excursions. Your grandfather won't send someone to pick you up this time. That's all gone now.
I don't think this AI has the best bedside
So you
manner.
decided not to like me. But you've had a century to plan what to say, and that's it? How about you screwed up the best deal we ever had, or you come waltzing in here giving orders, or even Foster died because of you, you stupid bitch. I don't like me much either. But I can fix this. I can bring him back.
I don't know how you hope to achieve that, little miss, but I suggest you start your efforts by laying back down. Loss of motor skills is common even for experienced long haulers, which I suspect you are not.
I suppose you had a long time to mull things over. Nothing I can say will change your mind.
So, are we not actually supposed to do that? We're just gonna wander around the ship? I have read that the start is a little slow, so don't worry, it does pick up once we actually get inside the palace itself.
So where is he?
He? Oh, you mean the cube? Yes, I had a very good look at that while you were asleep. I think you're in for a disappointment. Nothing suggests any sentience. No interface to access the thing, nor any reason to do so. There's nothing in there. It's just a pretty cube.
If we knew how to operate it, we wouldn't have had to come here. This is how I see it. You don't answer to my orders, and yet you took us this far, so clearly I'm not the only one hoping that I can achieve something. I can work with that.
Not hope. Respect. For Foster. God knows why, but he wanted me here. The stupid lighter proves it. I suspect staying wasn't even an option, considering how you stumbled on board covered in blood, demanding departure a week ahead of schedule.
Yeah. Respect, then. That'll work too.
Seems like a pretty big ship to only have one person on it. I mean, it probably wasn't intended to only have one person, but... Okay, my instinct to follow the light was the correct one. Okay, so I guess our name is N, and our jerk AI is London? I gotta say, the VO is pretty good so far. I mean, I always don't expect amazing voice acting from smaller projects, but it's always nice to be surprised. Now let's just take a nap on the moon deck with our cube. Which, what, has like Foster's soul or mind trapped in it?
I need a suit. I don't see anything but ice.
It's not ice. I don't know that we can even trust what we see. This whole planet eluded detection until about a week ago. No visual cues, no gravitational pull, nothing. Even with the exact coordinates, I nearly missed it.
We're looking for a palace.
Why am I not surprised?
Give it a rest, will you? Can you see any structures on the planet?
You're looking at it. It's all one big structure, planet-wide. No palace, though. I'm guessing it's some corporate state's illegitimate mining project from the pre-requisition rush. That would explain the heavy clouding measures. The planet is most likely depleted of all resources. An empty shell. Hope the old man didn't pay too much for the coordinates.
You have no idea. Just get me down there. I'll go see for myself.
I'm wondering at those weird, like, scoops on the front and back of the ship. If they actually serve a purpose, or if they're just supposed to look futuristic and weird. So yeah, I think the whole slow start thing is that we have to actually make our way there to the palace where the main game is set.
You should get off the surface too.
So we're gonna need to find some sort of entry point.
Place. It's impressive, really.
It's a neat looking suit.
I'm enabling the suit's assist mode to compensate for your inexperience.
There's something here. It must be some sort of release mechanism. Did you hear that? It's definitely doing something.
Now you notice too that this is not our suit, it's Foster's on the sleeve there. The neat aesthetic is definitely
Look,
something
there's an
that
opening down there.
got my interest.
It's too far to jump, though.
The suit will soften your landing if charged sufficiently.
And if not?
It will stop you from leaping. The suit reads your intentions from your synaptic activity and receives commands from your voice or eye movements. A bit archaic, but Foster trusted that suit with his life.
Cutting edge doesn't go well with space travel. The journey here alone made the suit an antique.
It's not the suit's performance that worries me.
Okay, the fact that we only have 2 right now makes me think we'll be able to upgrade that later. Though it seems like only one of them is actually charging. And jumping down doesn't seem to actually expend. Okay, now going that way. So I can sneak, but it doesn't seem like I can sprint any faster than I'm going.
It's falling apart.
But I think one of the early Steam reviews did mention that you literally
It all
move
looks
slower
strangely warped.
at the start.
I wonder how long it's been here.
A composite like that should last forever, but it all looks ready to crumble.
It must be ancient.
Exploring these old, anciently built mechanical places is pretty neat to me. I only recently read
This place was
Rendezvous with
made for
Rama, I think.
humans. It's not just a machine mine.
Most digs have a basic infrastructure if human presence should be needed. Probably also rudimentary living quarters. Doesn't mean anyone was ever here, though.
Gramps believed the place to be untouched by humans. A palace built by long-lost technology, patiently awaiting its first human inhabitants. And you figure this is no more than a bootleg mining operation. Got to appreciate the contrast.
I generally lean towards plausible explanations. Your grandfather, well, everything he believed in, he made up himself.
I don't know about that. He had the coordinates right.
Look around you. This obviously isn't a palace.
Your man might have gotten some aesthetic details wrong, but he wasn't the kind of person who'd risk everything without some kind of proof.
I really wouldn't get my hopes up.
How do I turn down the volume on the commentary track?
You are overconfident. Immature people often are. You should be taking notes every time I open my mouth.
You don't even have a mouth. I think it's Rendezvous with Rama, whichever the first Rama novel is that's just Isaac Clarke. Nope, not Isaac Clarke, that's Dead Space, Arthur C. Clarke. So yeah, this whole, like, here's this mysterious machine world and we don't know what it does, so we're exploring, is neat to me. Totally would have cracked her helmet on that railing there.
Slippery.
Also, I guess that flying rectangle we saw at the start wasn't the palace like I assumed. I think that was just our ship.
What exactly are these
The
structures
weird
then?
window on the end.
Have you seen others like them since you're such an expert?
I've had my fair share of hauls based on wild speculation. It doesn't matter if it comes from desperate need or delusions of grandeur. There's never anything there but bitter disappointment.
Was this with Foster?
Before Foster.
I got the feeling you two have been together for ages.
I've been crisscrossing the spur for 1,000 years. Foster was with me for a century and a half.
Being an AI for 1,000 years and you haven't tried to eradicate humanity yet? I guess that also beats the 7 years before rampancy thing. Must descend faster.
If you've only been with Foster for a century and a half, you hardly knew him at all. I mean, we've been traveling together for a century, and we only just met.
100-year haul is quite the extreme. Foster's longest was 16. I knew him plenty.
He trusted you, and said that I could too, that you would help me.
Foster didn't leave me much choice. You don't mess up a job for your grandfather and then team up with the person you were sent out to get in the first place.
You could have just handed me back.
You really are naive.
I think you're doing this because you believe there's a chance to get your friend back.
You're so caught up in your homemade religion that you're oblivious to common sense. I warned Foster about you resourcefuls. Best not to deal with your kind.
Why did you then? Get involved, I mean.
Foster disagreed. And gold makes for a powerful argument.
Is calling a certain group of people resourcefuls meant to be a slur? Because that sounds like a generally positive trait. Being able to make the most out of very little. Down here in the slag tubes. I wonder if I'm missing a bunch of stuff, or if I'm actually just kind of going the way I'm supposed to go.
There must be a way inside down there. That looks like some kind of landing bay.
It looks like nothing of the sort.
You know, you're nothing like I expected from a friend of Foster's. Such an odd team.
An old rescue vessel from the Requisition and a man without a past. None of our marks knew what hit them. And then we were gone. The stuff we pulled off. You wouldn't believe it.
I believe it. I was one of your jobs.
A thieving rich kid with a gambling problem hardly qualifies. I got the brief. Not much of an extraction, really. No one giving a shit about you where you dug down. Only challenge Foster could see was that your grandfather wanted you to willingly hand back whatever it was you stole from him.
You're wrong about everything. Even Foster.
I seriously doubt that I am. He was good, Foster. Always had his eye on the ball. You may think you knew him, that he felt sorry for you, but he would never let that happen. I don't know what went wrong that night, why Foster died, but I'm sure you don't understand much of it either.
Sorry, I didn't mean to threaten your romance.
Cute.
And presumably the thing we stole is this soul cube or whatever it is that we're carrying around.
Finally, something.
Touch the thing.
It's stuck. I need some force. Does the gun pack any punch?
Okay, so we've got our gun here. You can see we can't use it very often because it still uses our energy from our suit.
Wow. I like it.
I'm taking the gun offline to preserve energy.
Okay, now our energy is recharging. See the yellow meter filling up on the triangle. And as you'll see, we'll definitely have some other things to use that gun on than just switches.
I'll be damned. Are you getting all this?
I'm with you.
But what's the purpose of all these chairs?
He was right. It all looks completely untouched.
So now we're getting into the main kind of look of the game that was in the trailers. This looks like an elevator, maybe?
You were right about the palace. What's the plan now?
We get Foster back, and then we leave.
I was hoping for something more specific.
I suppose we're looking for some sort of apparatus like the one Gramps had.
Would that be the Soul Sucker?
I'll know it when I see it.
Even if you did find the thing, this place is dead. What mythic technology might be here is now useless.
We just need to power her up. Tell her that we're here. I can feel this is going to work out just fine.
Hello? Anyone home?
I'm moving down. There must be some sort of power below the halls.
So, I mean, we're getting kind of a picture of what happened here. She was a bounty, he was a bounty hunter, he went to get her, he was presumably probably fatally injured, she stuck him in the soul sucker and put his soul into this cube, and now we're gonna try to bring him back. Little Shadow of the Colossus, really. Traveling to this terrible, forbidden place to brave death and try to bring somebody back from death. Though it's not Colossi we need to worry about. And there's us. Bonus points for functional mirrors.
I recognize these. They look like the stone faces at the gates between the garden terraces. Maybe it's a door of some sort. We called them gatekeepers. They were supposed to make us ponder if we were worthy to pass.
You're not getting through without power, and this place is dead.
Is it dead, or is it just waiting? I can definitely agree with the sentiment that I hope she moves a little faster later in the game, because if this is her full speed, it's going to take me forever to get anywhere. Oh, there's something.
Look at that. It's a voice.
It looks like a tuning fork.
Yes, obviously. The resourcefuls call them voices. Strike them and let the true tone interfere to find clarity and enlightenment.
Ah, of course.
What does that mean?
The suit detects a pattern to the sound, and the decryption is kicking in.
Did it actually do anything, though? Okay, so those tuning forks are just collectibles, and maybe we'll get like a full voice print if we tune enough of them. This looks pretty much like a grand hall of some sort. Oh, what's over here, though? Is it a slope? Okay, this is all blocked off on this side. So I guess we'll need to just keep heading downward. It seems to be the right way to go.
That door is different.
You mean this really big one?
I bet that's an activation mechanism for the door.
Well, if it is, we don't have the key.
This is meaningless. Foster is dead. Some things just cannot be undone. Think about it. If you could capture the souls of the dead in a cube, and then bring the person back to life, surely it would be a huge industry.
It's not like that. I know for a fact that he's in there.
I have wondered how you came to believe that. But I doubt that I'll agree with your reasoning. You resourcefuls are too far removed from reality to make sense. You've seen nothing but the bought and paid for fairy tale designed by your grandfather.
Well, the reality of my fairy tale upbringing was that it was all about this place. No, even before that, my genes. Graham spent centuries creating his resourcefuls, carefully picking potential from the gene pool. We were created to come here, and this feels very real to me. Now, these I know. We had rings exactly like them in the gardens.
The suit detects a small gravity charge inside the scepter.
Perhaps it can power the big door. The pedestal looks like the activation mechanism.
Just out of curiosity, what's the higher meaning of keeping scepters displayed inside huge rings made of gold? It does seem a bit much, even if you are filthy rich.
The rings were not for show. They are part of our training.
Oh, and you do what exactly? Step inside and feel wealthy?
Not quite. The rings spin up, and the challenge is to get out in one piece. At first, staying in there is the only sane thing to do. But as the hunger comes, the rhythm of the spinning starts to sink in. At some point, you realize that starving eats away at your chance of making it out. Then the leap. No, wait too long.
Right. You almost had me going there for a while.
I don't know how to get back up to where that door was. But it doesn't seem to be up here. I hope this room is not symmetrical. Otherwise we're going to be trapped in here for a while as I try to find the one way out.
You were heading for the big door. Perhaps I should pin it to your HUD.
I mean, that doesn't actually help me because I don't know how to get through this wall. Oh, never mind.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed that there were no other exits from this pit than the big door. How I hope the scepter will magically make it open.
It will work.
Must be nice always feeling that the world will act in your favor. It doesn't, though. My guess is that you will learn this momentarily.
Now, let's see.
Nothing. What a shock. Looks like you might be joining Foster after all, just not the way you imagined.
I don't get it. What Gramps did to hundreds of resourcefuls for this? I saw it the day I came to you. The subject lies down on a marble surface with a strange silver pattern. And the silver unfolds, pierces the skin, and slithers inside. In about half an hour, it consumes everything. And all that remains is an empty slab of marble and a newly formed cube.
No.
He called it the translation. The flesh and the soul shall enter the palace through separate doors. We said it 1,000 times, never realizing. I didn't catch Foster's soul in a magical cube. He was dying, and I translated him.
You killed him. The fact that your grandfather did unspeakable things doesn't prove he was right? That Foster can come back? That's insane.
It was the only chance we had, and believe me, I'm good at chances. I gamble for a living, remember? That's how I've stayed alive all these years after leaving the gardens.
Well, this time it didn't pan out. Look at you now.
You think I'm giving up?
I think we might be entering the proper palace now.
Do you see that? The dim glow.
The activation of the door must have triggered a chemiluminescent. Not uncommon for evacuation purposes.
Do I run down the endless hallway, or do I go straight ahead?
This place is huge. This hallway alone could easily house all the resourcefuls that ever were.
You finding anything here without coordinates would be a miracle. I compared the quarters you're in now with the overall structure of the planet. The palace is everywhere, all the way to the core. Huge sectors separated by the outside structures you were in. I'm getting some local increases in energy emission.
Know what it is?
Can't tell. It's not radiation. One of them is close to your location. I'll pin it to your HUD.
I'm glad that he's pinning things to our HUD, because this place is really massive, and I would be horribly lost if I had to find my own way.
I've got to give it to him, the old man. This place is spectacular.
Nothing but an infinite palace would suffice for you resourcefuls.
I wish you'd stop calling me a resourceful.
It's what you are.
I had the training, but I never bought into Gramps' vision. I never wanted any of this.
Yet here you are.
I was 6 the first time I ran away. I hiked for weeks to see what was beyond the gardens. When I finally reached the wall, Gramps was there waiting for me. There's nothing out there but people living like animals, fighting to please their immediate needs and desires. They have no ambition, no perspective. Why fight to get the best out of the little time you have on Earth when you could be fighting to have much more? He went on about the wonders of the palace, but he had already left me. All I could hear was the blood rushing in my veins. I wanted that. To fight for the here and now. I decided that I would do whatever it took to make that happen. So I went back with him, to follow the training, figuring I'd need it to get away. And I was good. He called me his prize. Before the turn, I ran. Just shy of 15. I've been out for 7 years now. Not really what you'd call a running away from home excursion.
Not really, no.
London, you've got to believe me. Foster was a bloody mess and wouldn't have made it out alive. None of us would if I tried to escape with him like that.
He gave you the lighter, so he must have wanted me to take you here. But he would never buy into your grandfather's delusions. It's so far-fetched it almost makes me sick.
I really wish she didn't feel the need to switch to a stroll when she's talking. I mean, you can jog and talk, lady. Also, again, I'm faced with the problem here where I have a marker, but I have no idea how to get closer to it. And I really hope that I should have just turned right and gone the rest of the way down this hall instead of backtracking there. Hopefully not every area is this endless, because otherwise I'm going to have to lean pretty heavily on London's guidance. But yeah, I've got kind of the problem here where I have to avoid all doors and find the paths that go around them.
Is that a throne? Look.
To open this door, you must take the path of royalty. Do I have to be quicker here? Because, I mean, she does not go quick. I need like a dash.
This must be it.
Oh my god, look how big this room is. They really do a good job so far of creating this feeling of this cavernous, endless space. Even if there's maybe nothing to actually find over there.
It looks exactly like the thing that made the cube.
Something's not right. I'm picking up a whole load of anomalies.
I think we may have just found the on switch. Oh, and if you're finding that these cutscenes look a little framey, it's because they're pre-rendered. Like, my frame rate is not changing at all when it dips, so for whatever reason, the cutscenes don't run as well, or weren't recorded as smoothly.
Foster? Are you doing this?
Ben, I thought I lost you. Massive power surges are blazing through the outside structures. And the gravity clouding nearly tore me apart.
She's waking up.
More like malfunctioning. If those reaction veins cross... Wait, what's that? Something's wrong with your HUD.
I think it's the cube telling me where to go. It happened when I put it on my back.
Unlikely. The suit is hard-coded and all blocks capped to the minimum. No room for adding to or altering the code.
600 kilometers is quite a way to go.
See that? The suit's being enabled to interface with the palace. Maybe it's Foster trying to help.
Foster was many things, but not a systems physicist.
Why are you still denying that we have a chance? Everything around us is a marvel.
Everything around you is critically unstable. I think the whole place is malfunctioning. You should be getting out of there.
I think we might need that gun back soon. Just saying.
Look, I got a new waypoint, and it's a lot closer.
Well, I don't care which one of you is doing it, as long as one of you is giving me directions.
Look at that! Did you see that?
I broke the
It
thing.
charged my suit.
I don't know what sort of holographic phenomenon that was, but it was extremely compatible with the dual retention system of your suit.
It's interesting too, because it charged the other triangle, but it seems like that one doesn't recharge on its own. So these recharge stations are the only way to
Power
top
for
up.
your suit won't be a problem. The outside of the palace sectors burn red hot, but even inside the walls and floors I read a buildup of gravity charge.
Why would anyone need power on a scale like that?
I hope it's not part of the malfunction. Overcharging would be catastrophic.
Always seeing the bright side.
I mean, if the entire planet is a structure, that kind of seems like it would be self-explanatory why they need so much power. Oh, tuning fork. Oh, this is just a little office or something.
This is bad, N. The palace system's shut down, but it's still charging. The jewel mass is nearing the Dirac child limit.
That felt horrible. I couldn't move.
It was a massive energy discharge. It must have made your suit brace.
Okay.
The lights
That's
are
it.
stabilized.
The discharge kicked in system processes planet-wide,
Watch out for the
but it's
death door.
producing a lot more energy than needed. Building up charge again.
I think we just experienced our first system reset, which is actually a mechanic.
Another discharge.
There's air now. How is that possible?
I don't know. The chemical composition of the environment was altered in the blink of an eye.
Wasn't there air
That must have been
earlier?
what the energy buildup was for.
Because, I mean, we didn't have our helmet on the whole time we were in here. Though it seems like it's... Oh, I guess maybe we did have it on and it just wasn't polarized.
What the... Flowers? They weren't here before the blackout, right?
No, they were not.
I guess it's part of the welcoming package.
Man, that is kind of really disorienting. You can't do anything when it
What's
stops. It's like a burnt worm?
Look, there are more of them. Everything is so neat. Weird how it scatters these chunks all over.
Yeah, except these chunks are getting bigger.
What the? This one moves.
Worse, it's alive. The sphere appears when humans or animals are detected in close proximity, but this...
They make squishy noises. I have a feeling I know what those are going to turn into after maybe a few more resets. Also, once we're into the normal gameplay, I don't think the resets happen nearly as frequently.
What are they? It can't be Foster, right? I mean, the palace did try to read the cube and then malfunction. This can't be the palace attempting to bring him back, right?
No matter the intent, that's not Foster. It's not sentient.
Well, not yet. It's starting to look like a dismembered person, isn't it? And there's also quite a few of them.
What does that mean? I get color now.
The suit senses a threat. Yellow means that you might be noticed. Red means you're targeted.
So that's a neat way to display that kind of visual stuff as an in-universe part of your HUD. You know, instead of just having like big arrows over enemies' heads. And I can always appreciate sci-fi games that have integrated HUDs like this, like Dead Space. Guess we can't go anywhere yet. Gotta wait for the power to come back on.
They'll be walking soon. Are you still sure this is a good idea?
It's okay, we just need to get to our objective before they become functional. Going a little faster would probably help.
I don't know what's most absurd. The palace populating itself with these grotesque hostiles, or you charging on like you'll be able to survive when they're fully evolved.
I never expected this to be easy.
But maybe you should give us access to our gun again, Adam. Sorry, London. Just with him not giving us our abilities, he seemed like a very Adam Malkovich kind of thing to do. Hello. So yeah, these things are copies of us.
What is this?
That's you, Hen.
But why would it build copies of me?
Maybe don't just stand there.
It jumped me.
The red spikes suggest that you won't survive another encounter like that.
I don't get it. Why would the palace copy and then attack the first human to arrive? It makes no sense.
The constant crashing indicates deep corruption. Those creatures must be part of that malfunction.
I mean, or it's just a built-in defense system. You were hurt. Okay, so we can take a hit, and then we have to let it recharge before we take another hit. Oh, shit. well, they're pretty harmless right now, but their behavior changing is a kind of key mechanic that was shown off about this game. Basically, eventually, they will start learning from what I do. Or rather, they will gain abilities based on the things I do between resets. So like if I open a door during one kind of scanning period, the next time they'll all be able to open doors. Oh, that's the way to go. I don't think I really need to sneak right now, since they're a little awkward. Stamina. Okay, so we have a separate stamina that doesn't use our suit energy. Excuse me. And even stuff like that, I guess they will be able to copy, and they'll be able to shove you if you do that too much.
I'm bringing the gun online. Each shot will kill as many as you can line up.
Okay, so we got penetration on this thing. And yes, if you use the gun, apparently the enemies will have guns for the next segment. Might as well use all the juice while I've got it. So this gun's pretty powerful, but it's very limited in how much we can use it.
They're getting up.
Alright. Guess we don't have a choice but to blast our way through again. I was hoping I could shove both of them.
I thought you said the gun was lethal.
It is.
So, the palace resurrected them.
Who knows what this death trap is capable of? My guess is things will only get worse.
You really need to work on your motivational skills.
Okay, so we don't need headshots or anything, it'll just punch through them wherever we hit them. And we can use the gun to tag enemies. That wasn't much of a takedown. That's because I didn't hold it. I did the shove instead. Yeah, I gotta hold F, but now she's alerted, so we'll just leave her behind. She doesn't have any speed yet.
They're everywhere. I can't see anything.
Use your area scan.
And also, from what I understand, when... see, so I use the scan, so I think they can use it now, too? Or that was just it recharging, I'm not sure.
Hey! Over here! Hey, over here! Hey! Hey, over here!
But yeah, on that whole learning thing, when the system goes dark like that, anything you do isn't copied, so you can just murder them willy-nilly without giving them any extra abilities.
They're getting faster after each blackout. If they swarm you, use the gun's riot function. It's not lethal like the main driver, but it will knock down everyone in close proximity.
Got it.
Okay, middle mouse. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't think I can drop down there. Still a long way to go to get to that marker. So I'm wondering if they'll be able to shove me now. Can't drop down there.
Over here.
I mean, they are kind of zombie-like right now, but I do know that later they'll be able to full-on sprint after you. I wonder if I could shove them into the spikes on the door. Oh, I got double grab there. I think it wants me to just use the riot function, but I'm trying to hold off. Alright, missed all of them. Okay, that really doesn't have a lot of range. Tuning fork.
What is that?
I have no idea.
It's creating weird imprints of me. How strange.
Strange is the norm in this place.
I think this is when it starts to copy me. It'll do that whenever I do something that'll give it a new ability.
The matter is strengthening your suit's ability to retain energy from your surroundings.
Something we can collect to permanently increase our cell storage. None of these. Oh, got one of these. I was gonna say, none of these doors look like they'll open. Please go faster.
It's closing fast. You won't make it.
It feels like this damn suit is slowing me down.
You're just out of stasis. It's protecting you.
I don't want that.
If you insist, it'll be painful and your range limited.
Okay, so now we can actually move a little faster. Let my stamina juice back up. We won't go too much further because we've already been going at this for a while, but I just wanted to make sure to show off some of the actual main loop gameplay.
What's this now?
It activated a new interface. I wonder what it's monitoring.
I got a 16 and a 9 going on here. That's not a door. Though, I might need to touch all these blue things to open these doors.
It's counting down. But what?
Let's, I guess, open up whatever's here, and then that'll probably be a good stopping point.
I bet the pavilion will open when I've collected enough orbs.
Ah, she can't climb. She can only jump down.
Only 4 more to go.
Get up top. Can I really not just climb up? Oh, see, now they know how to jump off. They don't know how to survive jumping off, though. I wonder if I can use that to my advantage. If I had stood at the bottom and lured them off, they would have jumped to their deaths. Oh, she's got a gun. I have to wait until my stamina meter
Only one
is
left.
white to actually be able to fire. Oh, well, I guess we don't need all of them because there's more than one left. I guess that's the first area complete.
Look, it's decrypting the voices.
Yeah, I didn't get enough tuning forks to get the whole message.
N, the lift is slowing. You've traveled 55 kilometers.
Oh, I guess that's 600 kilometers. Won't take forever. Alright.
They're not
see.
crossing the water.
And I believe if I cross the water, they'll be able to do it next time. But yeah, I think that'll do it for Echo. It seems pretty cool. I like the aesthetic, and the story is actually surprisingly interesting. I didn't realize there'd be that much of a story in this when it was shown off. I thought it would be more just kind of a puzzle thing.
I wonder if it's edible. I'm starving. Best thing I ever had.
What can I say? People like grapes. And they restore your stamina. Alright, so this is Echo. It's pretty cool. It's like $25 on Steam right now. It's got a little bit of a launch discount. And I think I'll actually keep playing through this. I know I try to say that for a lot of these videos because there are a lot of games that I would like to keep playing through and then don't get around to doing for quite a while. But yeah, I think I'll just try to push through this because it seems pretty cool, and I haven't played a lot of these sorts of sci-fi games recently. So yeah, I've been Shadefire, this is Echo, and I hope you'll join me with my next jaunt into mysterious alien, or potentially alien, palaces. Until then, take care.